Welcome back to the Senior Spaces podcast. This is the podcast that's an offshoot of the reality TV show I made, Senior Spaces, where we explore the different options that people have as they are considering the next chapter of their lives. Are they going to age in place in their current home, maybe downsize to a smaller, more manageable home, or are they going to consider senior living? I encourage you to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. You can watch the video. We are on Spotify, all over the place, so look for us, or we have you here right now. When I started this podcast, one of the first people I wanted to have on the show was the star of the show, Mr. Rick Williams. Well, guess who's here today? Mr. Rick Williams. Rick, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yay! We did it. Here
we did it.
are.
I know. Who would have thought when you and I first met doing the casting call at San Diego Oasis that we go from that to here? It's pretty crazy.
And now it seems like I've known you my whole life.
Right?
That is crazy.
We're talking Padres. We're talking all kinds of stuff. We're not going to talk Padres today. I know it's a sore subject for some. We're going to kind of keep ourselves focused on positive things.
Positive.
Exactly.
Not losing records.
No, we do not want that. I wanted to talk today about your experience with the show, kind of from the beginning to kind of where we are today. And when you and I talked the other day, we kind of started with the casting call. And when you went, it was very different than what you thought it was going to be. What is that all about?
Yeah. I have to flash back a little bit to that memory. Must have been actually about a year ago.
It's been about a year.
Where I'm a big fan of the local educational thing called the Oasis.
Yeah.
They got Rancho Bernardo. I'm more East County, so I go to La Mesa. I love their catalog. I go get it. And I'm familiar with their catalog, and I go and I get my Zoom classes, regular classes, and there, for some reason, this one-page ad just kind of jumped out like, I don't think I've seen that before. What's this? Aging in place, interview, da-da-da-da-da. And I had in my mind what I thought that meant. So I just made a quick call, scheduled the thing, I show up. And there's a bunch of people, and there's clipboards, and there's sponsors, and interviews. And I go back. They mic you up and put the camera on, and it was cool. It was very cool. And next thing I heard is that I was selected, but that you wanted the family involved.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh no." I would never have even applied. I thought it was about me working in the yard, showing how I can still do things as an old guy. And here it was kind of like, oh. And sure enough, I could not talk two of my daughters into it, no matter what. Yeah. Something about, I don't know, their privacy or suspicions. And then my wife was very reluctant.
She was on the fence. We had to convince her on Zoom.
I think that's what it was. I think you convinced her. And then Lucas, my son, he kind of knows the business a little bit, photography, and he helped out, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great experience. I could not have asked for better people. But I remember that Zoom when you and I were on with Ryan, the producer.
Right.
And we're all in different places. And it's like we finally got her to get on board, which is great. And we'll talk about her experience in just a bit.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned how she's getting some feedback.
Yeah.
So you thought it was one thing. It turned out to be something else. But what you learned about it was all about education and providing resources for people. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What I was really surprised at was I've been a private fiduciary in San Diego for the last 36 years. That's what I do, is I help people as their trustee, their conservator, as they have different needs and problems. And so I kind of thought I knew the layout, but at the same time, I'm getting older and I can feel different, that this aging thing is no joke. were things that I know I could do before. Everything just is more effort. Just getting out of bed, getting here today takes so much more concentration. And I think people are in some form of denial.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. I am going to die one day, believe it or not.
Right.
And I may need help. I'm going, what?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we were together, I think, like around 4 full days.
Yeah.
And you guys suggested different things of, do you want to stay home? Would you like to downsize? What about the beach? I think that's how you kind of hooked Mary a little bit.
Yeah.
What about the beach fantasy? Your son, the surfer, could come visit you all the time in this Pacific Beach condo. And then even a facility near the beach.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely different than I thought, because I'm thinking, a condo?
Yeah, right.
Really?
I'm coming from 2 acres of land to a condo.
Yeah, I'm thinking, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be a good sport and keep it open, because I'm more and more aware that I need to learn about options.
Right.
And I was too stuck in my little rigidity at my alpine place for the last 20 years that we flat out love.
Yeah.
But what are we doing? 2 people with 3,000 square feet. I still work part-time with a home office, but it's pretty easy. But then it was incredible. I mean, once we went to the condo, I swear, I am not making this up, and I was totally surprised. I could imagine me living there.
Wow.
But I had to go through this experience, and it had to be the way we did it, where it was as if this is a real possibility.
Yeah.
And it's not for Joe Blow.
Mm-hmm.
It's for me.
Yeah.
It's for us. And so my wife, you could see, was more rooted to our house and memories. But she was open too. But right away you could see that she was, this is kind of smaller.
Right.
And I'm going, I could see it working.
Yeah.
Which was amazing to me.
Which is something that you would not have even thought of, because you had never been in that situation, because no one said, okay, it's time to start planning and thinking about the future. Let's see what that future looks like.
And my future, not giving to other people, receiving the help. Exact same thing. Here we're in a facility, for elderly people. Me, I'm only 78.
Right.
In denial.
Yeah.
That could possibly, and we went there.
And your mindset, I don't mean to cut you off, but you use the word facility, and that's the common word that people use rather than community, because we have the perceptions of what senior living is.
Yeah.
Day-old soup, saltine crackers, everyone's in wheelchairs. But this was like night and day to that for you.
And you're right. Even when I said the word facility,
Yeah.
it seems so cold.
No one wants to go live in a facility.
A cold dungeon.
Right.
It was so not that.
Yeah.
And it was vibrant. The people, you could see the people walking around in their faces and then we got to actually experience breakfast or lunch, I guess it was. And it was just so, I mean, that was prepared by a chef.
Yeah.
And the flavoring and everything. And I had salmon, and I know something about salmon, and this thing was just fantastic. And again, I'm not saying I could imagine it 5 years. I could imagine it right then.
Wow.
Moving into the condo, selling our place. I'm not saying it'd be easy.
Right.
But it wasn't like a deal breaker where I would say, not only no, hell no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So then it went back to the drawing board. of what are we going to do, Mary?
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
Right.
And again, how typical is it if you have a couple?
Yep.
They're not on the same page.
Right.
Opposites do attract.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it because, well, I just thought my wife, Mary, is 12 years younger than me. Not that unusual for the two not to be the same age. So now they're aging differently.
Correct.
She still works very full-time, loves her job.
Mm-hmm.
I barely am getting through my little part-time thing. And so we're on different pages. We're totally opposite personalities. If anything, I'm more a backcountry guy. We even lived in Jacumba before Alpine. And you could see she was kind of attracted to the beach.
Yeah.
But when it came right down to it is, what do you want to do, Mary? She says, I want to stay here.
Yeah.
At our home. And I'm going, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I said, I can see we've done our homework.
Right.
We're now prepared.
Yeah.
The educational experience is just huge. We're now prepared. We have more. But then you brought in fix-it people.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're going to stay home, how can we have you live in your own home that you know safer?
Yeah.
Well, don't we kind of know that?
Yeah. And now you thought you did.
Oh,
Because
we
there's
clueless.
There's so much that goes into it, from, transitions in the doorway to your pool, which you love using. I mean, and that's the tip of the iceberg, but we had to bring in some things to show people, if you want to age in place, that's great, but can you do it successfully and safely? This is what you need for it.
Right. And so in comes the stay-at-home guy, Adam.
Adam, yeah.
Adam. A fantastic guy. Fantastic service. You could see his commitment. And he's using his experience eyes to point out things we were not seeing.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the shower. All of us, you included, are a fall risk.
Yeah.
We're all fall risk,
Mm-hmm.
and I have fallen. You just have to be way more mindful, but he started with the shower as just simple little things with grab bars and strips on the bottom, mats, so forth. Then he's looking at the commode, and of course I have both knees replaced, both hips replaced. I have 3 stents, getting ready. I got some kind of sleep apnea diagnosis. That's the worst with that machine.
Right.
They're getting ready to do some kind of middle ear surgery. So I have a ton of stuff, but I also like the Dick Van Dyke book. He's 90, 100, whatever he is, where it says, keep moving.
Yep.
And that's the one thing in my favor. I just keep kind of pushing through it. And I look at the lazy boy chair with the remotes as the enemy.
Right.
And anyways,
and I remember you referenced your home as the gym membership.
That's my gym where I'm out doing yard work, just basic little stuff.
Right.
I know nothing. I just learn on the job. But anyways, then. So he's looking at the commode, and he sees with my replaced knees and hips, it's harder for me to get down low.
Right.
So he raised the darn thing.
Yeah. And who would have known that that's possible?
Who would have known? And of course, then we're testing Mary.
Yeah.
And she's 5'2". She can barely touch the ground.
Right. Anyway, right.
So we have a little stool.
Right.
Well, we have other bathrooms too, but
but
that was fantastic. Then he goes over to the living room and says, well, where do you sit? Okay, da-da-da-da-da. What if we raise that and add this unbelievable little swivel desk thing with its little cup holder, and you can do writing. We have gotten from other people who saw the episode say their comment is, I want one of
Right.
those.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what their age is.
Right.
It's a cool little setup.
Absolutely.
We go in our swimming pool every morning, kind of our wake up routine. And it's cold water, so it's cold water therapy, and we do a little swimming. And it's just a walk-in pool that kind of slants downward. And there were no bars to hold on to.
Yeah.
He put in a bar that I don't know how I lived without it. Now it's an extra safety feature going in, coming out. We have a little grandchild, Macy, who's like 2.5. So she's kind of in there with us, learning to swim, getting her feet in the water, and she's coming in, and there she is, grabbing that same bar, going, just saying, hold on, and she walks in holding the bar. It's just fantastic. So all those things were just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I want to kind of fast forward a little bit. We wrapped the show. That was a great experience. And then you brought this up. We did a screening of the show where we invited industry professionals in to see the show before it went on cable
amazing.
television. It's on YouTube right now, but it was on cable. Talk about that, because you were overwhelmed by that.
Well, all you said was something like, we're going to do a private screening
Yeah.
at
It was
our
private.
place.
I wasn't lying.
No, it was total. Well, I
Just
guess I
more.
thought of the word private
Right.
as you, me, and Mary, and a couple of helpers.
100 of our closest friends.
And next thing, and I'm saying, well, okay, how many people you think might be there? And she said, oh, maybe 100. 100 people's a private screening? That's not very private. And so we walk in there, and there were like 100 people. And we're going, to see us? What is that about? So we're sitting there, big old double screens, and we're sitting in row 1, and boom, there's the episode. And the episode's about an hour long, and everybody's sitting there watching us, which is on the freaky side.
Yeah.
You really just have to have fun. You just have to give your ego a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
And just say, like my orthopedic surgeon, it is what it is, and just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it happen, and don't be so microscopic about every little, how did I look and what did I say, and oh no, our couch is so old, people is going to, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Like you noticed the deck had those defects.
Right.
Well, since then I have had a guy come out. We haven't repaired it yet,
Okay.
but we're one step closer.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to that episode, we're sitting there, and then it's over. And then people are now not only clapping, and we're looking around, and there are people standing up with a little standing ovation. And that's just like, that's not our world. So
Yeah.
it was amazing, but it was also helpful. We started talking to people, and you could just see how important the educational component is. We all need to learn. We think we know.
Right.
We don't.
We don't. And the people who were at that screening were professionals in the industry. They got it.
They got it. And you could see how there are so many options. You want to learn about all the options because you get your tailor-made fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens is, as you know this from your professional life, is people wait too long. And then the choices go from this many to this many, from a lot to a few.
Yeah.
They fall, they break a hip, something happens, medical issue, and they can't go to the independent living situation like you went to at Wesley Palms. Now we're talking maybe assisted living or what have you. Or if it's aging in place, it's even, more things you have to introduce. So the earlier people do this, the better. And that's the whole goal of the TV show. And that's why you and Mary were so good at it, because you really exemplify what people need to be going through at this stage of life.
Totally. And what made me so much more sympathetic on old people who are bedbound
Mm-hmm.
or in a wheelchair or just sad,
Yeah.
depressed, lonely. I've become way more sensitive as I get older to, I mean, if I hear a person who's older than 78, 80, 90, who's out golfing or doing anything positive, I'll go, right on.
You go.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah. So, all right, now the show is aired on cable.
Yes.
It's been out there. People are seeing it all over the country. What have you heard from people? What has Mary heard from people?
Yeah, from in my kind of isolated world, I have gotten most of my feedback. Well, I have told friends.
Yeah.
And they will get back to me, little things, all positive. Mary, because she works with a lot of older people, she said, I was asking her this morning, and she said that she's probably heard from at least 20 people
Wow.
that they saw, and just randomly, that she didn't mention it. They came up to her saying, "Oh, we saw your episode, and wow." And I said, "Is there a certain comment that they make?" And she says, "Well, typically they say something like, 'I'm so glad that you decided to stay home.
Yeah.
You have such a beautiful home.'" Of course, we love hearing that.
Yeah.
Even with our defects.
Yeah. Still a great place.
It's a great place. And it's our home.
Yeah.
With all our memories.
Right. That's awesome. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
It's been a joy. I'm grateful you were on the show because I thought you and Mary did a great job, and Lucas too.
Lucas was great.
He was great of really showing people what's possible.
And to see the dynamics between children and parents.
Absolutely.
You got the opposite of the husband and wife.
Right.
And then a different perspective with the child.
Well, and actually, that's a very good point because in so many cases, the adult children are involved in the process.
Please.
Whether it's just providing opinions or maybe providing stronger direction. And so Lucas really had a very strong opinion of what he thought you guys should do.
He did. I was surprised to hear it, actually.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is how often do the parents communicate with the adult children as far as what their wishes are? Doesn't happen all the time.
No. And like I say, once we even kind of threw the camera out to him and say, "Lucas, what do you think?" I was thinking, well, I haven't asked him that. What does he think about this whole thing?
Right.
And now he gave his response that had such strong feeling.
Right.
To it. I said, "Oh my gosh."
Well, and he probably, his bedroom is still set up there. I mean, it's still his museum.
It was.
Oh.
An update.
Update.
Since our episode, Lucas's bedroom, sorry, Lucas, is now my office. Why? Because my daughter, Summer, got married a couple years ago. Her and her husband, Chris, they would like to buy a house in Southern California. Not easy.
No.
Not easy to get in the game. So they threw this out. I didn't have the idea. I had this office off the garage, the upper and the lower. It was fantastic. And I just had a ton of my stuff in there. And they said, "Would it be possible for us to move to the office and live rent-free, of course, save our money, and try to make a deposit for some entry-level place?" Well, if you go back to that episode, we actually said some comment like, and I don't know where this came from, that I think we have this secret fantasy that our kids might come back home.
Yep, I remember
that was absurd.
Right. And guess what?
What?
It's happening.
It's happening.
Temporarily, but yeah.
And they actually, I probably didn't put a vacuum to the place in a million years. The original, we had it painted when we arrived 20 years ago. And I had my kids paint it. They were just little. And so there's places on the wall that says Lucas was here, and the big old red and I mean blue and yellow colors. I think we were Charger fans or something, and only to realize they said not only would we like all your stuff out, and I'm thinking, where am I going to put all this stuff? Um, we would like to paint and do new flooring, carpeting, blah, blah, blah. I said,
Interesting.
I don't know what it was because that has been my office for 20 years, but I was just receptive. Well, I mean, I want to help my children
Yeah.
out, of course, but I was also receptive for a change.
Sure.
And I said, let's go. And they're thinking maybe a year or whatever. And they've already done the painting, the carpeting. They probably will move in anytime now.
Awesome. That's great. We could talk for hours. We don't have hours. We got to wrap this up. But I wanted to end with this. We're going to be doing more episodes of the show. We're starting production soon. We're going to be doing more episodes because there's so many stories to tell. And you and I kind of talked about this for a public service announcement you want to give to people who are maybe considering being on the show, aren't so sure they want to do it. What would you say?
I would say go for it. Get off your comfort zone. Give your ego a little bit of a break. And go for the ride. Experience the unknown, and like you say, it's your story. It's your unique story that you can do. And I guess this is the other thing I should add. We were together maybe 4 full days of filming different things. It flew by. Not only did it fly by for me, I had fun because you guys made it fun. We were yucking it up and having a good time. It was enjoyable. Yeah. And since then, I have been on other different little shoots that I've been experimenting with. Not everybody makes it fun. I can tell you that.
Right.
I've been on one where it was so uncomfortable. Everyone working had the energy of they wanted to be somewhere else.
Oh, wow.
I never felt that from you or your team.
Yeah.
We
had a great time.
We had a great time.
I know.
That would be my...
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. And I appreciate you doing the show, coming in here. I know I had to keep you out of here. You didn't want to come in. Now, Rick's been saying, I can't wait to do this. So I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for the friendship we have and the Padres, and we'll leave that at that.
Go Padres.
Go Padres. So this has been Rick Williams. This has been the Senior Spaces podcast, again, where we revisit and expand upon the Senior Spaces television show and everything it has to offer for you for your next chapter. Again, subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube. I look forward to seeing you next time on the next episode.